Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode and a new series on the channel. This one is another from scratch series where we just take a blank project, which actually used to be one of my most hated things, but now I love to see a blank project because it means that a challenge is coming. This is probably the biggest challenge I've ever done. You know, the past few ones we've done have been quite, not necessarily out of my comfort zone, but something I'm not producing every single day, right? You know, the Future Rave one, something that I haven't really produced Future Rave in that style at all, so it was quite a challenge in that sense. But this is going to be next level challenge because, as you know, I am a recovering art acoustic reverb addict. I'm trying to move on, but I just can't. Every project needs to have 50 different art acoustic reverbs in, and I'm trying to get better, but I just can't leave it. So if you see me go to click the art acoustic reverb, just shout at the screen because I'm going to try and use only FL Studio plugins. It's going to be tough, but I know we can do it. And it's, do you know what? I think we're both going to be opened up to a lot more plugins than we ever kind of, because I know most of you haven't touched most of these FL Studio plugins. Like I found one before called Destructor. I was just having a little mess around before. Just to see which ones were good, because honestly I don't know. I don't use any FL Studio plugins really, so I don't know where they are and I don't want to spend ages looking for them. But for example, this Destructor thing, hopefully you guys can like see it, how it works and stuff like that, and put it into your own tracks. And also because I'm releasing the project on my Selfie page, some of you don't have the plugins required to open it. So this one, I can almost guarantee you'll have all the plugins that is required to open this project, as long as you have the new version of FL Studio. So after that long intro, and I'm trying to delay it as much as possible because I'm scared a little bit, we are going to get into the start. Now, one of the boys in the Discord mentioned, when I mentioned this, one of them said maybe the new Will Sparks style, and I love Will Sparks style. You know, that big room techno vibe. It's something I've also been gearing towards as well. I've got a few big room techno tracks coming out on sick labels, so get ready for that. Now we're going to jump into the kick drum. The most important thing for me in a track is the drop, right? That's the thing that gets the track signed. It's the thing that sells. It's the reason people like this music, the drop, right? It's the main focal point. So we're going to start with that. We're going to go into my own samples because they're the best. And hopefully you guys have already got these as well. I want a good kick. I think either disco kick or, yeah, the silence kick. I love this kick. It's one of those kicks which I always find myself going back to, especially when I'm doing this big room techno vibe. We're just going to draw out a rough drop structure here. Now I know that this is the first part of the drop, this is the fill, second part of the drop fill, and then we're going to go into a breakdown here, right? This kick is great. I don't need to do anything to this because I've done all the hard work for you when I put this in the sample pack. I've laid it up, I've processed it, I've done all that work, so you just drag and drop in your project. I'm going to try and use not as much samples as you probably would expect. I could easily make a track with only samples because, you know, I have high quality samples, so the track would just be high quality, but I want to make it a little bit of a challenge, so we're not always going to use one-shot samples. But there we have the kick. I think 140 BPM or 142 or something like that is going to be where it feels right, but I'm going to wait until the drop leads in and then we'll know. Drop lead wise, I mean, we could use the Rave Is Our Religion lead, because it is sick, but I also like this one because you can do more distortion with it. With this one, I've already distorted the life out of that sound, so if I was to add more distortion, it wouldn't work too well. Just making sure the sound's there. So we're going to try this W&W lead, which I made in Serum, I think. But we have the one shot, and the good thing about samples is, you know, it's already been processed, already been distorted, saturated, all those kind of things. So whatever you do after is just making the sound even more full. So if you're struggling to get cool sounding leads, try using samples. So we're going to start here. We're going to start with that simple big room techno melody, and we're going to put it over the kick. like this. Absolute banger. We're gonna give it some kind of variation. So like bum, bum, bum. See, I like the fact that it has a little bit more of a tail there when I draw the note out long. See how it stops dead? That's going to come in really handy later on when we've got the reverb and stuff. I'm so nervous about the reverb section of this video, but when we've got the reverb and the automation and stuff, this elongated tail is gonna sound really good. So we've got to decide what key. We've got to see what key this lead sounds good in. So what would that be? It would be F sharp, F, E. I don't mind this sound there. So we're going to need to process this because this is nowhere near good enough. We're going to make sure we've got a bus. So this is main lead. And then we're going to have a main lead bus as well. This is where we're going to have all our reverb and stuff like that. So do I want to start with the reverb? I don't think so. I'm going to put that off as long as possible as well. Good old Sound Goodizer. Camel Crusher. I would love to just put Camel Crusher on right now, but I can't. That's the rules. So we're going to look for a Sound Goodizer. And this works pretty well, in my opinion. I like to use this one. I don't know why. I don't know what these things mean. But that's a nice little boost there. A nice bit of compression there. It's just going to push the sound in your face a little bit. The good thing is about this, actually, is Blood Overdrive is an FL Studio plugin. This is probably the only FL Studio plugin that I actually use like religiously. So this is a lifesaver. We're just going to distort the shit out of it now. See how much more full it becomes. We're also going to try this one that I said before, Destructor. Now I'm going to turn these off, the Blood Overdrive off first, see if we can find a cool distortion sound. Now this must be a new one because I've never seen this before, and the way it's like, the way the UI looks, it looks very futuristic, like this is a new one that's been added. So I hope you guys, if you guys have this version of FL, you should have this one. And this sounds pretty nice, man. It's providing something different. It's like a hardstyle distorter, this. That would be great on a vocal, actually, like a hardstyle vocal. Tell you what, I like that little delay that it gives. We're also going to stereo images as well by just using this knob. As you can hear, this is very mono. This is very stereo, so I don't want to go too far. Now I'm going to add another destructor because I do like the sound of that one. But we're just going to skip along the presets again. Let's go this way. See how, man, this is something that you guys are probably missing out on a lot because, like, I spoke to one of the guys on Zoom, one of my Patreon guys, and the problem is finding good unique leads, right? What I've just done now in like 5 minutes is a lead that people would struggle to, like, if I release this on, you know, Revealed, Rave Culture, whatever, and people try to remake this, they would spend hours trying to remake this because they were like, how's that sound come about, you know? And it's just by distortion is so important. You can take a sound and just completely reinvent it by clicking a few buttons. So for right now, I think this is pretty nice, but it might change in the end. But it sounds really edgy and really unique. Now we're gonna try it with the reverb as well. Oh, I almost clicked on the Arts Acoustic there, but no. Bad boy. So we go to the reverb too. Let's go. We're not going to worry about this too much because we're going to do this with the peak controller anyway. Let's get the peak controller up. And let's link it. So we're going to right click, link to controller. We're going to link this reverb to this peak controller. And we're going to invert it so that it can perform this. So when the note hits, obviously the reverb's going to go away. You can see that gap there. This is where the reverb kind of dips away when the lead hits. So the lead is allowed to be clean. Now I'm going to try an EQ, see what sounds better. Oh, almost. I almost used a Pro Q3. We're going to replace that with a parametric EQ2. I knew it wouldn't take long before old habits kicked in. So we're going to EQ it a bit. I can't decide between these two sounds though. Now, what I'm listening for here is the real click, the click of the sound, the real body, the punch of the sound, and I'm just going to boost that frequency. We definitely need a delay as well. So we're going to get the good old delay up. And oh, no. We're going to click on rave delay. Do I want vocal delay? See, we don't want the cutoff full because we don't want that lead to be playing with the same frequencies in the delay as well, because it's just going to be confusing. So I like to bring the cutoff down so the delayed frequencies have less highs, basically, less distracting. We're going to need a sidechain. Now sidechain's going to be an absolute nightmare, to be honest. We can either manually do it or use gross beat. If we're going to do it manually, we need Fruity Balance, and what we're going to do is just automate the volume and draw in our own sidechain. What a nightmare. So we're just going to do this and copy this first one and try and get the sidechain to be right. So we're going to just try and mess with this and try and get it right. and it's crazy how much you can change your sound. This is crazy. I'm actually going to link the delay to the controller as well, so the delay will also be dipping. Oh man. What a cool sound that is. Now we need to bring the high cut down a bit. I like to put an EQ after as well. After the reverb and stuff, just to make sure and get rid of all those nasty frequencies. Which sound is better though? We're going to leave that for now because I want this to be the most unique possible. And also when I release the FLP on my Selfie page, I want you guys to have all these settings saved and you can just drag samples in and try them. Which is, I might switch up the lead in this part. But for right now, this is quite cool to start with. Let's try get a bassline. Bassline. Where do we start here, man? Harmer's pretty good. Oof. Is that a respace? Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Like this. Would this work? You can also go boom, 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 like this. So, boom, boom, boom. Some cool sounds, man. Open the wrong thing. What I wanted to do was get the fruity balance back because I'm going to EQ the bass line. I'm going to do the automation on the bass line. So we're going to draw this kind of thing again, maybe a little bit less tight than the lead. So what I also want to check here is another plugin that I found when I was messing around before. What is it called? No, it's not transistor bass, I don't think. Harmless, toxic biohazard. What a name. Put this on 7. And try and find a cool sound. Doesn't seem to be working. Think we have to turn off the fruity balance for now. Let's go in basses. Oh. That's pretty nice. Oh. These are nice, man. Maybe it goes bump, 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 then it repeats bump, bump, bump. With a bit of a pitch bend here, maybe. This bass line isn't the one. Oh. No, all I'm doing now is just messing around, see what sounds good. Try an offbeat, for example. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, it's kind of nice. At 142 BPM, maybe. Also, what I like to do is just constantly try different melodies, different patterns, and wait until that one hits. It's like, oh, that's the one, you know. So, dum. Oh, these sounds are really nice. You can also try like a side trance pattern, like this. So, first one needs to be a bit quieter in the side trance pattern. Maybe not this sound, but try another one. Wow. I like the sound of this. See if we can distort it. Oh, I'd love to put FabFilter Saturn on this bad boy right now, but we're going to try a sound gradizer. And then we need some distortion, so let's try Destructor again. Oh wow. Try the sidechain. Gonna try mono. Not sure about that. What we can also try is an actual melody as well. I put some really good midis in the new sample pack. Let's just duplicate it so we don't ruin what we already had. Oh, that's nice. So that is G, F sharp, F, E. Let's see how this one sounds. It's this one, I believe. Let's mute this one. It's crazy that that sound came from this. That is crazy, but this could work for drop 2, right? So I'm just gonna mute that for now. Let's go with the simple drop 1. Maybe it's too sudden, so it's boom. There. Oh man, that's cool. Now sidechain needs a bit of work. Much more tight. Now I'm not really sure about this distorter, to be honest. Oh, fruity balance is off. This is good. This is why I need LFO tool, because you can really do this within the plugin. Let's try and shorten the notes a little bit as well. Now we don't need this one because we're not going to use it. We're going to stick with the toxic biohazard one. I kind of like that it's an offbeat bass rather than this. Try with a lead. So we need to work on the lead a bit more, but this is a bass line. I think it sounds really sick. We need to boost some frequencies. The Destructor, it's better, I think. But I really like how subby that is, so maybe. Can we distort within here? Can't see a distortion section. But anyway, we can just go into this and bring it down a bit. Maybe just a little bit of bit crush there. Right, we really need to boost the low end because we need this to be really pumping, so... We're going to boost some of the mid frequencies as well. Okay, so I just had to save the project there because I'm so scared I'm going to lose this, because this project has turned out really, really sick. There's a few things I want to do before ending here. Now, this sounds good without a build-up, which is crazy because usually you really need the full context of the build-up for it to sound like really good. What we're going to do is have a cool transition. Now, I think something like this would work where we miss the kicks. So we're going to get rid of all the sidechain, gonna get rid of the bass line. It'll go